Afternoon blaster peeps. We're going to do a pull down or strip down of the new SLR blasters that we've got here. So this one here, I believe Paul wants this stock, so I changed his mind last night, sent me a message. So don't worry Paul, we'll make sure you get this stock when we send out your blaster. So we'll just start stripping this down. It was pretty straightforward in regards to externals. It's just going to be we'll take the upper receiver off. What I'm more interested in is the internals, so we'll just quickly do a strip down of the externals, which should be just a straightforward SLR strip down. So let's start by taking these bolts out. Do some stuff off screen just to push some pins in and out. So we should just be able to take the upper straight off. T-piece is a little bit crooked there, so we'll straighten that bad boy out. There we go. So pretty straightforward. There's your inner barrel. Comes with an alloy inner barrel, nylon T-piece, which is pretty generic for your SLRs. What do we got inside here? Slide your handguard off it after you take the flash hider off. Careful with that little piece, guys. That slides in the top of here, so it just fills in that little gap. So just make sure you don't misplace that. Pretty straightforward SLR outer barrel, upper receiver, charge handle. As you pull the charge handle, activates the mag prime. Ooh, there we go. It's got yeah, it looks like a little brass style cylinder, so that'll be interesting to see what's inside here. Standard SLR nozzle. Looks like a little plastic nylon, maybe T-piece. I like T-piece nozzle end. Always flick it over to semi. We'll take the buttstock off. We'll get the screw out from the inside of the buffer tube. Thank you. Oh, where's the green one? This is the part I hate. I hate doing these screws. Or this bolt to the buffer tube. Just trying to find. Where is it? Come on. Might have to get a light down in there. Can't seem to feel where this is supposed to go. Sorry guys, I'm doing a little bit of this off screen. Just trying to find out where this screw is so I can take this buffer tube off. But we'll get down to the nitty gritty, the more interesting parts, which is the internals of the box. It'll be good to see what they're running, see if they've upgraded any parts, or especially their tapper plate. So, buffer tube stock. Take the motor plate out. That one. Alright, got a little washer here that we've got to be careful of, guys. Make sure you don't misplace that, otherwise your motor heights will be out. That could cause some detrimental bevel to pinion wear. Yeah, just your standard motor, nothing special with that by the feels of it. Although it is a nice shiny gold color. Thanks guys for joining us. Mark, Ian, Luke, Mr. J. Yeah, these screwdrivers, man, we got them in I think it was Friday, so I'm just giving them a really good workout over the weekend. They definitely make my job a lot easier, and they feel really sturdy. They come with a whole heap of bits as well. I think there's about 65 pieces, so they should have every single bit that we need to build these blasters. And it has a little light at the end of it here as well. So there's 4 screws at the bottom of the grip plate, base of the grip. So 2. Two still stuck in the bottom there, we'll leave them in there, should make it easier for later. 1 body pin, and then the little sucker here. Gone the wrong way, but there we go. And mag release button. And spring. Alright, so that's what we're left with after we strip down all the externals. Let's get this gearbox out. She should just slide straight out. Careful of some of the wires. Okay, let's get a better angle here. This is what I'm interested in. Looks pretty straightforward, your normal SLR nylon gearbox. Oh, they've got rid of the crazy screw on the other side. So all the screws now are all on one side. Nice. Let's take that spring out. Yeah, the screwdriver is rechargeable. It's got a little mini USB port at the back of it. So, nylon spring retainer, spring. Oh, let's measure that. Let's check out diameters. Spring diameter do we have? 1.2. Complete length. spring length about 149.5, 150. There we go. Yeah, 151. I'm actually really impressed. That's generating 280 FPS. Oh, go up a little bit, get a better angle. Here we go. So, let's find out what's on the inside of this bad boy. Just work this wiring harness out of these clips very carefully. So I can get access to all these other screws. I've got a little nylon pick here somewhere. I do like to use the nylon picks as opposed to the metal ones. They are a little bit more forgiving, so you don't... Yeah, there it is. So you don't break or tear any of the wires. There we go. It's nice and clear. Alright. I'm just going to get all the screws out of the gearbox, open her up. We'll check some componentry, see if there's been any upgrades. Looks like the cylinders had a little bit of work. Looks like the nozzle's still the same though. Yeah, Mark, when we chronoed this one yesterday, actually, it was averaging 270. We saw some consistency around sort of the 284, 285, but it definitely averaged out to about 270, which is really great out of the box, especially for a stock blaster. Accuracy was easy, 15-20 meters, and then we actually did one where we put a hop up on it, and we were getting easy 30 meters out of it. So, you know, for a stock blaster to pull those types of numbers and then offer that type of accuracy and range straight out of the box, yeah, it really blew me away. I was more than impressed with the performance of this SLR blaster. Alright, might get a bit of an angle here because I'm just coming off screen. Alright, pretty sure we've got all the screws out. Let's open her up. Ooh, oh no, there's a screw there. Can't forget that bad boy. There we go. Careful, just really cautious here. So they're running bearings, still running the stock SLR tappet, which is a bit of a concern. That is a bit of a weak point in my opinion. So it's got some nylon gears. Pop that out. Nylon anti-reverse latch, spring. Oh, where'd that spring go? Just take the tension on that spring. Yeah, it's got some good tension on that spring, so happy with that. Piston. There's your SLR nozzle, pretty straightforward. SLR tappet plate. Oh, these aren't as brittle as the last ones. They've put a little bit more flex in it, which is really good. Whereas the last SLR tappet plates, they were really stiff and brittle and they would always break, snap off the tail. So happy to see that. Look how flexible that is. The old SLR tappet plate would have snapped by now. So that's why sometimes in componentry it's really good to have that flex. to allow the component to shift and move and vibrate so it doesn't actually snap. Sometimes having something so stiff and brittle isn't necessarily the best idea. So I'm actually happy with the change that they've done with that. I'll put what I like to do when I'm checking box strength and tensile is taking everything out, and then I'll put pressures on really key points in the gearbox and see if there's any flex in it, because that's this worst case scenario, because with all the gears and everything in it, they will provide a bit of support, but then that's how we're able to see if they've used any better material in regards to componentry and upgrades. So we've got piston. What have they got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Black O-ring. Feels like a nylon, full nylon piston, which is good. Full nylon piston head. That's nice and smooth on the inside. You guys can see the finish on that. That is really great. It's probably where they're getting a really good air seal, is just the finish on the inside of this cylinder is a lot better than all the other brass stock ones that I've seen out there. That's a bit of a shame. So we've got the nozzle, bit of movement in this nozzle, which is a bit of a shame. Wonder if that's can be rectified, or if there's I think there's a little shoulder that this recesses on. Oh yeah, there we go. There's your little groove. So it's supposed to sit all the way forward and recess back into the head. Rubber pad saves a bit of a cushioning for your piston. That there is a bit loose, so we might give that a bit of a tighten up just to make sure. That's a really sturdy piston. That's good to see. No movement in that shaft there, so that's good. Once again, nylon gears. Spur gear. Not a fan of the bearings, as you guys well know. See if we can get any movement out of these bearings when they just sit normally in here. See if I can get something a bit bigger. There it is. There's not that much movement in these bearings, but these are just fresh, brand new. But I have seen a lot worse from new blasters when I pull them apart and seen bearings in them that have massive movement in it. Well, it looks like they have fixed the air seal in regards to the finish on the inside of that cylinder. You can see the finish on that, so that would give really good surface area for the O-ring to seal. You can actually test the air seal on this bad boy. Straight out of the box. Let's see what type of compression we're going to get out of this. Stand you back up so I can do a bit more work in front of it. Oh! So, it's making it hard, this nozzle. I'll put the rubber nozzle back on there just so I can create a seal. There we go. Alright. No. Oh no, it's the head. I don't have a shoulder on this head, so I was finding it really hard to check where compression is when the piston travels through. Try something like that. Yeah, we're getting a bit of an air leak through there. The O-ring in the cylinder head just not seating properly. So if we can create a better seal along there, then we should get this to seal up there nicely. If we can do that, we'll correct all the air seals while we're here, while we've got it out. It's a shame that there's not an O-ring on that. So we're going to see a little bit of air leak out of that nozzle as well. but we do have a couple alloy SLR nozzle heads and everything like that here, which I might actually drop inside this cylinder just to see if it improves it. It should. So double O-ring. Double O-ring. Yeah, single O-ring. That one there. Double O-ring for that. So got a little alloy piston head, cylinder head. See if that makes the seal any better. Oh yeah, much better. So as you can see, it's pretty much, we'll get a good gauge of where we're going to get compression. So if it comes all the way out, that's where it compresses. So if we make a comparison, probably just over half of the cylinder we're utilizing at the minute, so we can get that head to be a little bit more effective. Probably change out for a better flowing head to get that, and O-ring. Might be able to do a little bit of a trick here, guys. Stretch the O-ring out. See if we can get that to activate a bit quicker. Oh yeah, that's instant. So instantly, just by stretching that black O-ring, we've increased probably another 50% of use of that cylinder. So a little cylinder head change. We'll get a nozzle change in there as well, just to make sure that seals properly. Stretch that O-ring out a little bit more, and we're getting almost instantaneous compression. Just make sure it doesn't pull vacuum now that we've stretched that. No, there's no vacuum there, so that's good. Whoop, hold up. Just trying to read all these questions, guys. Here we go. That's a little bit better. Maxi, how big is the recess in front of the cylinder head? Recess in front of the cylinder head, Maxi. So are we talking from the front of the box to the back, or are we talking the distance from here to there, Maxi? Also, Paul. Yep, will do, mate. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to hit you up and see if you wanted me just to do a quick once over, just to make sure that the air seal's better, just so we can push a little bit more FPS out of it. I was going to go over it and make sure that all the Paul, honestly, I would probably put bushings in there to make it more reliable. Redo the shimming, just confirm that the gears are shimmed correctly. You know, probably change that O-ring out. Still run that piston and piston head. That seems to be flowing pretty well. Upgrade the alloy head. Put the nozzle in there. Call it a day. I mean, if we do those things, then I wouldn't be surprised if this thing was hitting over 300. Considering that straight out of the box, with a little bit of an air leak through the nozzle and the cylinder head, we're getting a little bit of a leak. Now with just a quick stretch on the O-ring, this thing's activating almost instantaneously. So that's going to give us more FPS straight out of the box. So that's something I definitely would recommend, Paul. If you we'll double check AOE, make sure that that's all gravy. If you want us to do all of that, give us a thumbs up, mate. How big is the recess in front of the cylinder head? Recess in front of the cylinder head, Maxi, is 5.19, 5.2. I'd call it 5.2, Maxi, if that's the measurement you want. From head to front wall. Oh, from head to front wall. So the inside. Yeah. Let's do this. Shift this around. Wee. .1 maxi. So that's the measurement from that edge there to the inside of the gearbox. It's 2.1. If you want that from that edge there to the front of the gearbox, that was 5.2. I hope I'm getting what you need, Maxi. So yeah, that's about it, guys. There's been a little bit of an upgrade in regards to the tapper plate, which is good to see. You know, just a few quick air seal. So 2.25 from. We'll do that measurement again for you, Maxi. .81. Just want to get that measurement perfect for you, Maxi. Oh, I'm all over the place today. No, you're right, Maxi. 2.4. Where did I get 1.8 from? There we go. Yeah, 2.44, Maxi. Ooh, I like the sounds of that. I wonder if we've got one of your boxes floating around. We got a MK box, bro? MK box just above you. We'll grab an MK box just for Maxi's benefit. Post it up against the SLR box just to see profiles. Might do a few measurements and just see what the compatibility is for the MK box. Which is always good to know that there's going to be a CNC drop-in available. Scotty, we are... Your box is actually together. It's in its box somewhere.
Hold up, Wayne. It's got one in.
I've got a hoard of Maxi's V2 boxes here. There we go. Ooh. So let's get a better angle for you guys so you can. So that's Maxi's box. That's an SLR box. That is a perfect match. That should theoretically drop straight into that SLR receiver. TP should line up and everything. There we go. There's Maxi's box inside the receiver. I wonder if might have to open up that front hole.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Scott's one, we just need to replace the base plate. He was asking.
13.92. Yeah. Just got to open Maxi's hole in the front here by about 1 mil. Oh yeah, yeah. Just saying, if you want to try and utilize that T-piece, we can open up the front hole there and slide that in perfectly. then theoretically that should all fit in. What do we got? Let's make a few measurements here then. Ah. Oh, this wiring harness is giving me the jeebies. Two. Ooh. From there to there. I might have to do an upgrade on that. I might have to try and drop one of these in there, Maxi. We had planned on doing that anyway, just to see what we can do with these new SLR receivers and boxes. But yeah, that's a strip down there. We'll do some upgrades on them. We'll change the bushings on them. I'll touch base with Paul just to make sure he's okay with the changes that I suggest. And then what we might do is, after I put it back together, just make sure everything's working, we'll do another chrono test. We'll do a live feed on the chrono test and just see what type of FPS and range we're getting out of it, just with a very few minor upgrades. So thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. As always, transport your blasters responsibly. You use and always wear protective equipment and get gel balls deep, guys. Thank you very much.